The Apocalypse Players present An Uncommon Burial. A Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario written by Danann McAleer in the style of M.R. James. With Joseph Chance as Dr. Henry Carraig-Muire, Dan Wheeler as Reverend Perregrine McCutcheon, Dominic Allen as Lady Helen Marjorie Bjarmia Potts, and Danann McAleer as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. Part 19. Bubbles in the glass.
And it looks like it's sort of a baby's hand. Like this really tiny sort of like infant's hand. It looks quite like pink and quite, like fresh, and like the skin looks very pale, but then
as small as
an infant's hand. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then with that, the arm that it's attached to, you realise leads into a hand that is adult-sized, if not more, and that there are other like stranger sort of shapes in it, and it gets dragged back into the darkness in a second, you hear
like a hand's got hands instead of fingers, that kind of
it was like a sort of a baby's limb appendage that led into like the knuckles of a larger hand, and then it slides back on the stone, and you hear, "Hey, what's happening down here?" And you hear this like banging come down the stairs.
Is that a sanity roll for me, seeing that?
I'd say it might well be, yeah. It seems pretty horrible.
Yeah. Well, that is a success on my sanity, but how
do you feel as a character? Do you think it would be fair to lose one? I feel like you haven't lost that much, and I think one might be
in the context of where I am and what's been going on. I think,
it's the sounds of the violence that led to it as well, and then the
exactly everything. So I think at least one, yeah.
Yeah. So, Dr. Henry, as you leave, you've left the hardware store with the promise of this gentleman to fix Perregrine's knife. You seemed very enthused about a personal project and all of that stuff. You find yourself back out on Church Street, and I guess your options are open to you. You know that the smoke house is just down the way, but also, most of the activity in town is happening back over to your left, down to the docks, and I suppose so it's up to you what you'd like to sort of, which way you'd like to head next. If you want to sort of head to Fortune's Kippers and pursue that, or have a wander about and see if there's any way of picking up any more clues. So I'm aware it's a sort of open investigation phase in a certain extent. So
no, I think I think I've got what I wanted, which is like a slight lead on, head round the back and knock on the door, and somebody might be in. So
yeah.
But first of all, I'm going to go down and walk and have a wee look at it, see what I can see.
Yeah. Yeah, you wander down to the end and you see again the 199 steps going up. Interesting, I suppose, because you probably also pass, you will also pass the oldie sweet shoppy on your left. But you probably, if you do look in through the window, you probably just see Miriam in there. Miriam? Fuck me. Not Miriam. Marjorie. Having a conversation with the old couple, so I guess assuming all's well.
Or smashing multiple jars.
Yeah. Smashing multiple. I think it would be just before that, luckily. That was luckily just far enough into the interaction that I think we're safe to say you wouldn't witness that. But you do, if you carry on round, there's the Duke of York pub on your left, by these alleyways that lead down towards the second pier, the second pincer of the duo of piers, which the guy in the hardware shop had recommended as like a nice place, also as the place you might find one of the cranes if it was after hours. But if you round the bottom of the 199 steps, you do see like just this little hanging sign that just says Fortune's Kippers, and you smell that freaking tang in the air, even though it's like late in the day. They're like, I mean, I love the smell personally, but I mean, depending on what mood you're in or how hungover you are, it probably varies in pleasantness. But that,
That smells like home.
Yeah, well, quite.
I think I love it too, but in a different way.
Yeah. And it is just a little shack,
Classic
really, in a
nostalgia.
yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic, of course. Just like home.
Yeah.
And is it the sort of thing you can perambulate around, or is it?
Yeah, it's sort of like it's down a little side street that's literally level with the 199 steps, so it goes out on a little terrace street, basically. There's gates to the yard behind, which are closed. The front door's closed. There's shutters in the windows, so you can't really make anything. It does look closed for the time being. I've said closed about 5 times.
I'll look at it from both sides. I'll wander over to the bottom of the steps.
Yeah.
Make a business out of lighting a straggly stuffed cigarette.
Nice. I mean, you do get the sense, actually, interestingly, if you walked up the 199 steps, the first, say, dozen to 20.
190.
The first 198, you'd be able to get a clear view down into the yard. In fact, if that was something you fancied doing. And in fact...
Definitely do that.
Yeah, I think it's every 15 to 20 steps, there is a far longer step cut in. And I remember that's because when they would carry the coffins up to the church right at the very top, they'd need those spaced interludes for the people to sort of rest, because it's such a steep, winding thing. So there's almost these sort of like weird funereal coffin stops built in throughout. But around the first coffin stop,
They've got the same in Prague. There's a huge flight of stairs.
do they?
Joseph, don't know whether you remember that huge flight of stairs that goes up to the
Up to the castle?
castle. Yeah, and they have the same, like, there's a long stair. I hadn't I hadn't even wondered what it was for. I wonder if it's similar.
It may well be the same thing, yeah. But so if you make your way up to the first coffin stop,
It's funny because Whitby's got a golem too.
aye. So it does.
Or does it?
Or does it? It does now.
Does now.
But yeah, so you go up there and light your raggedy.
I'll make a business of stopping to admire the view, but
Yeah.
I'll have a really good
Yeah.
look at the yard, see if there's, a large mastiff chained to a post or anything like that.
Oh yeah, love it. So yeah, the 3-headed dog looks up at you and sort of snarls. No, but but there is. It looks like the backyard of a lot of Freakham smoking houses. You'd have recognised that. I mean, it's basic in the sense it's literally like washing lines with pegs where they'll put the herring to smoke for fish in these pits underneath where they'll like applewood if you're feeling fancy, but basically just whatever the fuck, There's like...
I'll take out my pocket harp and I'll cast an enchantment spell on it so that the music soothes the beast to sleep.
Great, yeah. And then let Ron and Hermione go in first, right?
And then let Ron and Hermione go in first. Exactly.
yeah, quite right too. But you look down and there's a back sort. You realise there's a back sort of shed as well, which you assume is the hut they place them in afterwards, and then there's the front shop and the yard stuff between the two. There are some like chains and fire pits on the ground. There's a trapdoor in the middle of the yard, which probably stands out to you because I'm not going to be coy about that. You've encountered enough of those things recently to...
No, I mean, what lies beneath?
Well, quite. You can't see anything carved into it, but then you probably wouldn't from this side, would you? But it definitely draws your eye. Why would they have that in the middle of a yard?
Were the gates were closed, but but not, were they padlocked?
You can see a padlock. From this side, you see that there's a bar drawn across. And from the street side, you wouldn't be able to see that. But, I mean, you might be able to hop over it if you were so inclined. Or maybe even if you waited for it to get a bit darker, sort of scale down from the steps themselves, down the sort of side wall of the steps. But at the moment, it's still light. You could still try.
I might resist as much as I find all of that very exciting. And
Yeah.
there's a part of me that does want to sneak in and have a look.
Aye.
It's so tempting, isn't it? But I feel like once you're caught, you're caught. And how do you explain that you were... Oh,
That's where the fun lies.
Yeah, I know.
exactly. I could say that it was just left open and I walked in.
Yeah,
Except it wouldn't be because it would be locked.
but someone might have forgotten.
Is anyone... I'll give it 5 minutes. Watch it.
Yeah.
What's the foot traffic like? Are there people all around, or are they...
There's not a huge amount by this point, although you get the odd walkers up to the church and everything, and Church Street itself is quite packed. This is the very far end of it, so really there's no one really observing you where you are very
so much.
regularly. So I'd say I'd give you good odds if you did want to attempt anything untoward.
I might just go over and try the door. And,
Sure, yeah.
Casually, as if I am trying to get in, but in a quiet moment.
Yeah, so go down to the bottom of the steps again and just knock
I
on them.
won't wait for anybody to be watching. I will time it in terms of, but if someone comes along, someone comes along.
Yeah, so you wait for a couple of people to pass, and then you go up and rap on the sort of glass and wood door.
Well, I won't wrap it. I'll literally just try the...
Oh, I see. Sorry, yeah. Oh, the gate, the side gate into the yard. Yeah. It doesn't budge. It sort of moves a couple of inches, but
I sort of imagine like there may even be a bit of a gap underneath of an inch.
yeah, quite
That's
possibly.
sort of like really well held, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's not the sort of thing you could pick the lock on
No.
because there's no key.
At which point you hear a voice.
Oh Christ!
You hear a voice saying, "Excuse me, sorry." And you see the fellow from the hardware shop running up towards you. And
Oh, hello,
sorry, what was it? Doctor
Carraig-Muire.
Carraig-Muire. That's right. And he's got a sort of a pencil and a thing in his hand. He sort of writes it down. He says, "I'm sorry. I thought I'd just catch you while I." Thing is that the handle antler. Beautiful. The metal, it's a composite. I want to get it right. You see, I do want to get it right. So if your friend's in the area, let me know. But it might just take me a day. It might not be by closing time. That's what I wanted to say. But I'm happy to write you out a receipt. And then if your friend does know what metal the composite might be, tell him to drop in. Otherwise, I'm sure I'll figure it out myself. But I can just write you a receipt and...
I do not have the acting skills to hide the narrowing of my eyes as I study this gentleman more carefully.
Okay, I love it.
Because this is not what I would expect of a standard ironmonger.
No,
So I'd like to know if I can gain any psychological insight as to whether he's telling the truth.
for sure.
Which I believe I have passed. That's a 32 on my second roll of the night. That's another good pass.
Great. You sense that he might be acting off the back of something he's not saying. Like, you wonder if maybe someone has tipped him off about you, or you get the sense that there may have been some other impetus since you left that has caused this running out after you. But you do also get the sense that the excitement and the wanting to get it right and the wanting to keep in touch with you is a genuine thing, like a very genuine urge. So I suppose... with a regular success, I'd say you get the sense that there is maybe something he's hiding in the immediacy of it, but he is actually genuinely sort of wanting to make sure you keep in touch. And whether or not that's out of a sense of...
Now, let me see, Mr. Remind me.
Oh, sorry.
Said on the shop.
No, of course. Hastings, yes.
Mr. Hastings. I know that his father, my friend's father, was... now, let me see. What do I remember about Perregrine's father?
Judith's man.
Was he a man who...
A buzzard.
Was he of the cloth, or was he...
It's a good question.
Stationed in India,
If only I knew.
fought in the Napoleonic Wars as a chaplain.
Yeah. Full Charlie Chaplin.
The blade was made of the melted down remnant of Napoleon's broken sword.
Shards of Narsil.
I don't think I knew him very well. I think that's why it's so significant. It's like
Yeah.
I don't have.
It's like the one thing you have of him in a way.
Exactly. That. Yeah. No, he wasn't a man of. He wasn't the man of the cloth. I think he was
traveling salesman.
No, maybe farm labourer or small.
Popped out for cigarettes 37 years ago, never came back.
Smallhold
farmer. Yeah.
Hops. Was it hops? Barley.
Pompeii, 79.
It was probably hogs, and of course in Hampshire, a hog is a sheep.
Oh.
Yeah.
In which case I confidently say, I'm pretty sure he was a sheep farmer.
Oh, I see.
There were sheep mentioned, although I don't know, the way he said sheep was odd.
Yes. Those woolly pigs they have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it could have been pigs. That's good. Well, let me walk you back. In fact, I was thinking of popping in under your recommendation to the Duke of York.
Oh.
No one's in.
No. As I said, they probably wouldn't be.
As you advised. But I thought
How do you spell Carraig-Muire? Sorry, he's still scribbling at the...
Oh, just put CM. Henry CM.
Henry CM.
Be fine.
Got you. Lovely. And it's all right, just as that? He sort of... he wraps it in a... it's just like a receipt booklet from his shop, and he says, as he hands it over, he's just like, I just really want to make sure I get it right. And you maybe with the continuation of your success, you get the sense that there's something very sort of pointed in the way he says that, like, I really want to make sure I get this right. That he just looking at you with an earnestness that's maybe unexpected. And then he says, anyway, and lets you take the...
People in this town are very weird.
Aren't they? It's strange.
I mean, maybe that's just the moral. That's the moral of this.
Full of cultists.
People in this part of the world are weird.
Yeah, don't go to Whitby. Yeah.
Tough up north.
Out to square as folk.
Exactly.
Oh, so you're popping into the Duke of York?
Aye. If you've locked up...
Oh, yes.
Well, I'll stand you a drink if you need one.
Oh, excellent.
Since you've been so kind with my friend's pocket knife there.
Oh, no, quite right. I'm sorry I couldn't get it done in the time I was on, but it's... And again, he just looks at you and goes, it's good to get these things right.
Isn't it? In my line of work, one must be very exact.
Quite right.
I say, and I take my trowel out and I examine the tip of it.
Gardener.
Something like that.
I see.
I do my gardening for the buried bones of the earth.
Well...
Not human ones, you understand. The ancient ones. The oldest ones.
Well, no. Of course. Of course.
A great spot round here, of course, as you'll be well aware. And I spin the trowel and put it back in my capacious jacket pocket.
The wee beasties in the rocks, yes. They're very popular. Very popular. Found a few of them, have you?
Fine stuff down by... Oh, Boggle Hole, you know.
I do. Yes.
Amazing what you can see down there.
Oh, it's amazing what you can see down there. Amazing what can see you down there. It's one of those places I just feel... I feel watched by history.
That's grand. Like many eyes watching you.
It is like that. And as he's saying this, he realises he's led you through the front door of where you were heading anyway. And he says, well, I mean, if you're sure... Richard! Here he is now. And
now, Danann, in all seriousness, do I feel that there is a moment whereby there was a loss of focus by me that is...
Well, I was going to ask for this in a moment, but what you could do for me, just to round this off, is give me a power roll.
That is, of course, almost certainly going to be a fail, isn't it? Have I got power 60? Oh, no, hang on. No, I'm power 70. Yeah, 60 70.
Nice. Okay. So, yeah, you do...
Just, not strong.
As you go through the doors, you suddenly sort of feel this... Oh, it was like I was being compelled... But not necessarily by this man. It's hard to tell. It's like there's a crowd in there. He's hailed someone. You've got him sort of you were the one who said, let's go in here and everything. And yet it feels like you're being swept on this wave towards this bar. But you break out of it at the last minute as he sort of goes, "Oh, Richard," across this crowded bar. You see this sort of gruff older man on a stool at the bar sort of turn. But you don't feel compelled to do anything at all in that moment. You could certainly just turn and... But you're suddenly aware that there was an impetus, there was a pull, something. It feels like something was pulling you unawares.
And the man on the stool.
Yes.
Is he responding to Richard, or is Richard the barkeep? And is that
no, he's responding to Richard. To Richard, yeah. Which you know is the Richard Crane was the sort of patriarch.
He's and David Crane is.
The son.
Okay,
the son.
I've written down Dave.
Richard.
Crane. So
yeah. Well, I was going to say. Okay.
There was a Daniel mentioned as well, wasn't there? So Richard, Daniel, and David. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, at least. But it's a family, right? But yeah. So in that moment of, you sort of suddenly realise this swell over yourself. I think for you, maybe it almost keys into that pull you have when you like. You know, in that way that as an addict with like opium, you get that sense of you almost don't have to have it in your system. You just have to know that it's there. Mm-hmm. And actually, as soon as you have it on your possession, you suddenly feel this swell of like peace, because you know that even if it's not in your system yet, you'll be about to get it and everything. There's something about that pull of certainty that there is something you're going towards that will end things. That takes you at that point, but you catch yourself and you're like, well, what was that about? I know that's a bit of a bizarre way of phrasing it, but
not at all.
I'm sure all of our junkie listeners will fucking know what I'm talking about.
I think there's a sheen of sweat, but not necessarily dread.
Yeah,
Quite
something about the fact his earnestness and the certainty you were walking into this bar. It's not an unpleasant thing to snap yourself out of. It's just, where was that from? You know?
Well, I remember it on the faces of men I fought with after battle.
Yeah.
A sort of hunger for more.
Yeah.
Which was ridiculous, as people were, vomiting moments before the fight, and some losing control of their bladder or their bowel, and all of us having these moments of going, this cannot be, and then at the end of it you're going, but just give me one more minute of that.
Yeah.
And I look at this man Richard, he's a big fellow.
Yeah. But old. He's like maybe almost 70. But sailor's tattoos and greyed hair, and
Yeah.
he looks like he's been smoked. You know, like if ever there was a man who'd been smoked by his own kippers, this is him. You can almost smell him across the bar.
So you're the man of fish.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
Let's come back to Lady Helen, first of all. In ye olde sweet shoppy, as you've sort of broken this news, you've spoken to them, you've revealed that you were involved in the Crow's demise and the burning of the shop. They seem delighted that Brian, the husband, has rejoined and sort of sniffed some of this dust that they sort of tried to bless you with earlier, and seems to have had a soporific effect on him. But Geraldine is still very sort of enthusiastically, well, I would have done it myself if you hadn't, But she says, will you be needing rooms while you're here?
Well, we're staying at the where your daughter works.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Annabeth. Oh, with the angel. Oh, well, she'll look after you.
Is it safe there, do you think?
Oh, we'll tell her to take... Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, as safe as anywhere is. I mean, these factions, it's not safe anywhere in town this time of year, towards the festival. But, I mean, you'd be as safe with her as you would be with anyone else. I wouldn't worry about that. We'll tell her to keep an extra eye on you.
Well, Mrs. Taylor, I'm going to ask you a very straight question, and I'd appreciate a straight answer.
Please, please.
I've had the feeling, and I don't think it's just the weather, that we are known. There are people keeping an eye out specifically for us, and they know who to look for.
Right.
As I mentioned, I think the last time we were here and we went to the Boggle Hole Hotel, it turned out to be an entire subterfuge. We were lured there by false letters. And I don't know, but this is even more conspiratorial. That we've ended up on this, what I'm hoping is not a wild goose chase.
Well, I'm sorry that that's happened to you. I truly am. All we want
I remember the last thing I said.
Oh, have you?
I think this is what happened. I said, let me ask you.
She's sniffing the bottle of ashes. And she's like, what was it? What were you saying? What was the last
Are
thing?
you familiar with the name Robert Thompson?
Ah, Robert Thompson. No.
I'd like to roll a psychology.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Lying bitch. It's the fucking dice. I've rolled a 30. I have no idea if that's good or not, because I've concealed my character sheet from myself. Let me see.
Well, we should check.
I should. Psychology. That is a regular success, but I could spend luck. No, I can't. No.
I was going to say, how much luck have you got?
21 points of luck. But I'm close to a hard. 26 is a hard. So I could spend 4 points of luck if it's going to make a jolly big difference.
I don't think it would make a jolly big difference on this one. But I think she says, oh no, I don't think Robert Thompson. Brian, did we ever know a Robert Thompson? And she seems quite, genuine. But you get the sense he sort of goes, no, I don't think so. And sort of turns around and starts busying himself around the shop. And you get a sense from that he might know the name. And that, so it's almost like a level across with a regular success. It's like you get the sense he probably has heard of Robert Thompson and is maybe covering for it, maybe just unwilling to sort of, he's only just met you, to be fair, and you've been mainly talking to her, but that's the...
I think I round on him.
Yeah.
And I say, what about you?
Huh?
Robert kept a lot of male friends. He perhaps you came across him. He may have tried to befriend you at some point while he was here. He was doing paleontological work in Robin Hood's Bay. The fossils. You know about the fossils, don't you?
Even without a psychology roll, I was about to say, he seems utterly confused and you don't need to do that. But actually, when you say the fossils, you sort of, yeah. Robert, I can't say I remember. Robert Thompson, his name, but a young fella, dark hair.
Yes. Strikingly handsome.
Perhaps very, very handsome. But perhaps a year ago was here. Gerald, I'm not sure you met, but he was down the beach most days, and then I do remember showing him a few of the best places along the cove to find the wee beasties. In fact, I think it may have been me that. I think I recommended the Boggle Hole. I mean, I told him not to, obviously, and he sort of glances at Geraldine and she sort of looks back at him. He says, I did say to stay at the New Inn. And then this music starts, this sort of balletic. I did tell him to stay at the New Inn if he was going to stay anywhere. I wouldn't have recommended the guest house. Of course, I wouldn't recommend that to anyone, but I think I do know the fella you mean.
So, do you think he's still alive? Do you know what happened to him?
Again, he looks at Geraldine, and she looks back at him, and then it's like she takes over and sort of says, the thing is, yes, he went missing. And yes, the guest house burnt down. And, well, I mean, you know more about that than we do, of course. Although
I know he wasn't there when it burned down. That I'm sure of.
Well, in that case, I'd say he's probably still alive and she looks back at Brian and says, in a manner of speaking.
What does that mean?
Well, have you ever seen... Brian, did you lock the door? I did.
Because I'm celibate in a manner of speaking.
Well, come through to the back room. Come through to the back room.
Can I have some pineapple chunks first?
Ow. Yes. Sorry, she doesn't say ow. Yeah.
Oh, no, it was the Murray's Herbals I wanted, wasn't it?
Oh, shit, it was, yeah.
Half a pound of the quarter of a
I think
pound.
you've already got a bag of those.
Oh,
You've got a quarter of the herbals. I'll say you've got a quarter of the pineapple chunks as well. But will you go through into the back room with them?
Yes, I do, and I say, when I get stressed, I need to suck on something.
Fuck me. Well, they lead you through, and it's you go through. It's like one of those beaded doors, and you go through, and there's a sort of you can see the passage out to the back door and down towards the harbour, but they take you into a small little, living room area. It's very cluttered, very cosy. It does remind you somewhat of the lounge of the Boggle Hole guest house, not necessarily in a sinister way, just in that sort of sense of the back room of either a shop or a lounge that's sort of cluttered, loads of trinkets, loads of ornaments, loads of little china dolls and things like that.
Oh.
The sort of place it would take you a year to catalogue every little knick-knack in the place. And she sort of says, well, sit, and then she says to Brian, will you call in Samuel, see if he's out back? Yes. All right, I will. Aye. And tell him to bring some of his worms. And he goes out the back.
Worms?
What? Samuel? Worms? What?
How old is Samuel?
How old do you think he is?
He'll be about 10 now. He'll be 10. Aye. Can I make you a cup of tea or anything? Brian's left at this point. It's just you and Geraldine.
Are you related to this boy?
Aye. Oh, he's our nephew.
I see.
It's just a demonstration of something. Since you've done so much for... Listen, and she leans in and she says, between us, while Brian's not here, he's a bit more scared than I am to speak, openly about it. But I've given up the last years. There's a new lot in town. It's only the last year they've started springing up. And they seem to be at odds with the others. With the owl folk, the crows, the gulls, the bird people. They seem to be at odds with them, and we're at odds with them too, but for different reasons. But this new group, I don't know if they're any better than the old. All I know is they're at each other's throats. They're at each other's throats, and it's to do with the festival that's coming up. And you hear the door go at the back. Now, it doesn't have a ring, because it's not the front door, but it creaks open and Brian says, he's here. And Samuel, you immediately recognise as the young boy that you'd met.
I stiffen and bristle and go, well, well, well. I had a feeling we'd meet again. I'll not be taking any cheek from you this time, unless you want to feel the back of my hand.
All right. Oh, it's you, Mrs. How are you doing? Was you to do with the fire?
It's m'lady, not Mrs.
Well, that's all right. I'm 10 now. I'm used to it. But he's got one of his hands sort of cupped, and you can see a sort of like a dark sort of something dripping from under his hand. It's like he's
disgusting.
What? No, I've not shat myself or anything. It's look, and he sort of opens the top hand, and you see it's like.
Why would he assume that's what you thought?
And he sort of reveals a sort of handful of lugworms, with a lot of sort of casts and sort of mud sort of dripping from his hands. He looks up at Brian and says, You wanted the... And he sort of nods to the corner. Brian nods back at him. He says, oh, I've shown you this before, as it turns out. And he goes over to the...
If you're going to fling that worm at me, you're going to have another thing coming. The back of my hand is what you'll feel. I have to warn you, Mr. and Mrs. Taylor, this young ruffian threw worms at us before. And by the way, young Samuel, now I know your name...
He's fine.
I looked into whether worms grow back if you cut them in half. It's an old wives' tale. It's an urban myth. It's not true, or a rural myth, perhaps.
Milady, well, what was it? Marjorie was the one you liked.
Marjorie is the one that has to be earned.
Right, Helen it is. Just watch. And if you allow him, I mean, she sort of gestures to an armchair, and Samuel goes over, and there's a sort of tin, like one of those old sort of rusted metal coffee tins in the corner of the room. He sort of, well, fine. He opens it, and he gets out a little tea tray, and he pours from it what looks like coffee, like coffee granules or tea leaves, and sort of spreads it out with his fingers, and then he picks up the ball of worms again, and just starts pulling them apart and dropping them onto the tray.
Goodness me.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Watch. I've shown you before. And he pulls apart like 3 or 4 of these worms and drops them onto the sort of this thin layer of coffee or whatever in it. Gradually it starts they sort of start to ride. It's almost as if, when you fry up something like a frying bacon, start to curl at the edges, and then they start to sort of, it almost looks like they're sort of moving towards each other and start sort of crossing over, as if there's almost a juddering happening underneath the pan, the tray. And he says, just wait, it'll be worth it. And if you wait, you see they seem to, the torn ends because he hasn't cut them with scissors or cut them with a knife or anything. They've just been pulled. So there's they're not quite even. There's this sort of like, some sides have like slightly longer bits of skin, and it's those that you see first. The sort of exterior skin starts to curl inwards and start to, almost as if it's feeling towards the old parts, and starts sort of coming together, but more of them are coming together than should be. And you watch gradually as this mass basically convalesces. All the ends of these worms sort of meet in the middle where they've been ripped and start writhing and turning into this sort of almost starfish-esque shape. This sort of soften and yeah, I don't know. That's probably not a sanity roll for you, is it? Because you've seen shit like that before.
Seen worm shit before, but still.
Yeah. I mean, it's still pretty horrible. I mean, I think actually maybe it was only Perregrine who saw I don't know if you remember outside the church.
I remember.
On the land, you saw this sort of like many-pronged trident of worms after he'd been pulling them apart and throwing them over the wall.
Maybe it was just me who saw that.
I can roll sanity if you like.
It may have just been you. And also, for the sense of them moving together and seeing them amass, I feel like that's so unnatural that maybe that is a sanity roll, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, my sanity's not good, is it?
Good boy, Samuel. Well done.
That's a 67 on my 26.
Fucking doodle doo. Well, that's not great, is it? You lose a point of sanity.
Oh.
There you go. Did it for you. Yeah, there's something so unnatural about the way it's the convalescing of it. It's like it would almost make sense because it's just a reversal where you see the two ends moving together, but when you see them all sort of joining in the centre and fusing in a sort of tumescent mass, with these sort of almost arm-like appendages coming off it. And also the calmness of everyone else there observing, sort of like, oh, this is just his party trick. This is what he does. and probably also the fact that this came off the back of her saying Robert might only be dead in a manner of speaking, or alive in a manner of speaking. You suddenly start
putting the pieces together
and going,
stitching the worms together in my head.
Oh, that's yes. Well, yeah, if you will.
I think I stand up, shocked, and rush to the corner of the room, horrified.
Yeah, but it takes you half a second because the room's so small and so cluttered. Yeah. You literally just stand up and move 2 inches towards some China dolls.
I'm pressed in the corner and probably knock a few China dolls and a carriage clock off the shelf by accident. And I say, what is this witchcraft, devilry, illusion or reality? No. What is this? No. What is this? What does it signify? What are you showing me this for? This is meant to be about Robert. Is this about Robert? You're saying Robert the worm now?
The last thing he said to us was, would you still love me if I was a worm? No, it's not. He said, she says, listen, Samuel, good man yourself. You can go back out now. And he sort of looks up and he goes, all right, good to see you again, missus. Oh, sorry to, didn't mean to freak you out.
Wait, what? Young man. Where did you learn of this? How did this come to you? How did you find out about this? Why do you do it?
Well, why
is it you that does it?
Up on the moors. I mean, I've shown them. I mean, they can do it. We don't. Brian says, I don't have the stomach for hurting animals. I mean, he says they won't be hurt by it, but I don't know. He's like, listen, it's just a trick. The soil up there. Put anything in the soil, it'll grow back. I said to you, grow back 3 times, 4 times, 5 times.
Why?
Anything. And he sort of shows you the way. He's like, it's just earth. It's just dirt. It's just the dirt. He picks up the sort of weird sort of anemone worm and pops it on the table and tips the soil back into the coffee tin. You realise it was, soil. He sort of had it on this dry soil as if it's been in the tin for quite a while. He says, listen, just a party trick. I don't know how it works or why it works. I just know it works. I mean, you can see Geraldine and Brian sort of giving each other side eye. And she sort of says again, all right, if we send him off out.
Yes. Goodbye, Samuel.
Cheers, big tits.
How dare you get back here at once?
Samuel, don't.
He did remember you.
Yeah. Right at the last. Samuel, now don't. I'm sorry about him.
Wretched, filthy child.
He's an awful wicked sense of humour. There's a wicked sense of humour. He does. I'll thrash him soundly later.
It's a wicked soul. Spawn of Satan.
Well, I mean, let's not go fucking mental. He is a kid.
Well, there's no excuse.
Well, listen, now.
When I was 10 years old, what was I doing at 10 years old?
Flashback.
Well, when my husband was at 10 years old, he was working for the merchant navy.
Well, good for him. That's what we say, huh? Right, Brian?
It wasn't.
Oh, was it not?
He got scurvy and then rickets.
Oh, well, that's the last thing you need. Jesus, especially at 10. How was he when you met him?
Well, he had scurvy and rickets.
He's absolutely fucked, I imagine. Well, listen. He's only a kid. But this is what I mean. You see the sense of it. And she moves to touch the worm that's on the side, this sort of mass of worms. And she sort of picks it up by one of its heads and just drops it into a glass of water and
drinks.
So watch it sort of writhing for a bit. She says, I think it's less cruel that way. Things can grow back. They can grow together. Well, they can grow more than they should. And some folks, they use that. You see? Now,
are you telling me that what I saw at the Bogglehole Hotel was things that they had... Their son. Are you telling me they buried their son in the soil and he came back?
I'm saying that things come back if you sow the soil with them. There's a reason the folks round here cremate rather than bury.
I see.
There's something in the land, you see. And it doesn't come back right. It doesn't always come back right. In fact, it doesn't. It comes back many times, like copies, like, I don't know what you'd call it. You've seen those shapes you find in the rocks, the beasties, the ammonites, they called, I think, the snail things, and they,
yes,
the way they rotate in on themselves, it's like that. It's like copies within copies. But if you put something in there alive, it'll come back to alive. And if you put something in there dead, it'll still come back, but it won't be what it was before. And she says, now, you and your friends, do you need shelter?
Possibly it might be a good idea if we have an alternative place, in case we get compromised at the hotel.
You can trust Annabelle. We'll talk to her about you. We'll talk to her about you, but it's a big place, the Angel, and there's a big festival coming up. This place here, we're respected. It won't mess with you here.
I will consult with the others, and I'll let you know. Thank you.
Any enemy of the crows is a friend of ours.
Except for this other enemy of the crows.
Well, quite. But we don't know who they are yet. And they might just be troublemakers. I think they're trying to make use of the same power, though.
So the crows use the land.
We're older than that. Us. We've been here for years. And she, looks up to the bottle of dust. Or ash. Or whatever it is. Does a little blessing on herself. Almost like an Ash Wednesday thing, but slightly more tentative. She says, we're older than them. We've no interest in their quarrels. That's why you'll be safe here.
I see. Well, this has been very enlightening.
Well, I'm glad.
I say, stuffing a herbal into my mouth.
She says, well, it wouldn't do, maybe, for you to be seen leaving here by the front. I mean, it might be safer to go out the back.
Yes, I agree.
You're right on slopes.
Yes.
Fine. Says, well, perhaps see you in the next day or so.
Yes, I think we will.
If your friend Robert still is alive, I might ask yourself what you're ready to do if you find him.
I see.
Sometimes mercy is a hard thing to deliver. And she sort of blesses herself again, and
my eyes go to the worm in the glass of water.
And it's stopped waving about now. It's sort of flat at the bottom.
I see.
Sort of just bubbles in the glass. She says, well, not to be maudlin, here's your pineapple chunks. Here's your herbals. And mind how you go, won't you?
Thank you, Mrs. Taylor.
Quite all right. Enjoy your stay in Whitby.
I doubt I will.
We did have the creme de menthe plan. I mean, let's not forget the creme de menthe.
The three,
very important.
The 3 glasses left in the window of the Angel Inn. A genius move.
Still can't quite remember that. That's if some of us made it back. We didn't all make it back.
Everyone drinks a creme de menthe. Then they pour everyone else a creme de menthe. They put one creme de menthe on their head, another one on the knee.
If there are 3 creme de menthes on the table, it's either good news or bad news. I can't remember.
I think it was if the 3 creme de menthes on the table, then the others have been there and then have gone out to look for you.
Yep.
Maybe?
Yep.
That makes sense.
We were gonna meet there at what time?
I wrote that down 6:30. The bar by 6:30.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to make it back there.